Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about T.S. Eliot's tradition and individual talent. So first let's talk about T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot is a modern poet, critic, dramatist, editor and publisher. He is the 1948 winner of Nobel Prize in Literature. Eliot has brought a different approach into English criticism. His criticism has been revolutionary. He has turned the critical tradition of the English language works upside down. Eliot's theory of poetry marks a break from tradition and gives a new insight into literary criticism. Introduction to Tradition and the Individual Talent. This is a critical article written by T.S. Eliot which was first published in Times Literary Supplement in 1919. The essay may be regarded as an unofficial manifesto of Eliot's critical creed. The essay is divided into three parts: Eliot's concept of tradition and the role of individual talent, his theory of the impersonality of poetry, and lastly he sums up his discussion. The role of tradition. Tradition as a phrase of censor in English literary criticism. English critics applied the term tradition for vaguely approving a work of art as traditional. English literary criticism does not give due consideration to tradition in evaluating the literary artists of the past and the present. Criticism versus creativity. Eliot further states how criticism is as important as a creative activity. The critical activity guides creative activity. He posits that English nation suffers from an unawareness of the shortcomings and limitations of its critical genius. According to him, criticism is essential to creative activity. Tradition as a dynamic concept. The concept of tradition is dynamic because it is ever-changing, ever-growing, and always becoming different. Eliot accounts that no writer has a status or position in literature in isolation. There is a reciprocal relationship between the past and the present. The past directs, guides, and shapes the present, and in turn itself is modified and changed by the present. Individual talent and its role. T.S. Eliot combines the two concepts of tradition and the individual talent. He asserts that both play their respective roles together in the process of poetic creation. Individual talent and its role. Sense of tradition. According to Eliot, modern poets should be conscious of the following three factors. To know the whole past is a remote possibility. The past must be examined critically. The poet should not know only a few poets whom he praises, otherwise it will be a sign of immaturity for him. The poet should not be content to know a particular age or era which he likes. He must know every age or era. Knowledge of tradition. Awareness of tradition and knowledge of the past heighten the poetic sensibility. It is a must for all the poets. Impersonality of poetry. Eliot has criticized Wordsworth's comment or concept of poetry as emotions recollected in tranquility. According to Eliot, an artist must surrender himself to the literary tradition. It means his poetic sensibility must be shaped and modified by the past. Maturity of this sensibility leads to extinction of personality and brings objectivity. Eliot posits that the poet must be objective and impersonal as a scientist. Personality is not so important. Tradition is definitely more important. Poetic process. Eliot compares the mind of the poet to a catalytic agent and the process of poetic creation to that of a chemical reaction. The poet gathers together his emotions and experiences and then creates and composes something new. For example, two gases, oxygen and sulfur dioxide, combine to form sulfuric acid when a platinum filament is introduced into the jar. Otherwise, reaction won't take place. The poet's mind is just like a catalytic agent. The experiences and emotions combine together to form a new entity when a mature poet goes through the process of poetic creation. The poet's maturity lies in the fact that he transforms his emotions, passions, and experiences into poetic composition. Escape from personality. Poetry is not an outlet of emotions, but an escape from emotions. It is not an expression of personality, but an escape from personality. This impersonality of the poet is possible when he surrenders himself completely to the sense of tradition, the historic sense of the past, and the awareness of the present. That's all for today, guys. If you have any query, please write in comment, and please like and share the video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.